and welcome to the Shoreham View. This is The Other Side. We're joined by Coventry fan Joey, who is one of the hosts of the Nii Lamptey Show, which is a Coventry podcast. We talked about making mistakes. I've made one straight off the bat, but how are you doing?
Yeah, you're right.
I'm not too bad. So let's kick straight in. Football-wise, what's it been like as a Coventry fan in the last few seasons?
Depends how far back you want to go. If you look over the last 3-4, you'd say largely pretty good. If you'd say back over the last 10, you'd say it's been absolute dog shit. Even the last 3 or 4, to be fair, I take it swearing is okay as long as I don't drop massive C-bombs or something.
Go for it, even C-bombs. It's an adult channel.
No, nice one. Okay. Yeah, so specifically over the last 3 or 4 seasons, we've gone from absolute rock bottom at League Two to 2 promotions in 3 years. Winning the whatever the JPT is called now, and staying up last season, which might not seem that brilliant, but I think we were odds on to go down last season. And we've had some fun along the way. We haven't ever been the best team in the division, even when we won it in League One 2 seasons ago. It was because the season finished early. But it's been all right. There's been the backdrop of that has been playing in Birmingham rather than in Coventry. But weirdly, it's not felt as bad as it did when we were in Northampton. I think I'll probably get crucified by some people by not saying it was the worst thing in the entire world. But we're back this season just in time to see us get relegated again and for the bad times to start, I expect.
Yeah, we were hoping that we'd get in this season, but in the sense of me thinks I think it would have been even worse if we'd have been there this season. At least we weren't there to witness our downfall. So let's hope that you're not there to witness one for you. Let's hope it's another good season. Can you see that happening? Do you think you've got it in you to have a good season?
No, I think we stayed up by the power of your friends over the road being so abysmal last season, and Wycombe just being far too poor. As good fun as they were, again, I don't see there being a team in the division as poor as them. And Rotherham were terribly unlucky with the amount of times they were hit with COVID. They had to play 4 games in 10 days. One of them was against us in quite a scrappy game that we came out on top on at their place, and you wonder whether we would have won that game. Ultimately, that swung our season right back round and we came good at the end. We've got a massive rebuild due now. We've got a lot of players that have left, a lot of players on loan who won't really join us, and a lot of players who we were hoping we would get back that we had last season who look like they're going on to bigger and better things. I think it's a step too far. If we stay up, it'll be an absolute miracle. I'm not sure I see it happening.
Tell us a bit more about the gaffer at Coventry, what he likes to play football-wise.
So, I mean, he's an absolute hero at this point, Mark Robins is, because we had a successive stream of awful managers who all should have done better things one way or another. He was the one in the middle of it who got poached by Huddersfield briefly, then came back to us and has only ever been good for us since he's been there. Yeah. The thing with Robins that's interesting is that I think he's played different formations pretty much every season that we've had him. He seems to have settled on 3 at the back and sort of nominally speaking an idea of sort of trying to play some level of possession football, albeit that last season, the lack of ability that we'd got in the squad for the championship level meant that we were much better when we played direct. He is flexible in that he knows that there are some tactical evangelist managers, aren't there? And I don't think he has the luxury of being that. I think he would probably like to be, but he hasn't got the tools at his disposal. And if he's got one big strength, it's that he doesn't let this sort of ludicrous idea of playing football the right way, like someone like Tony Mowbray would do, actually stand in the way of trying to get points on the board occasionally. Also, he's overseen a number of different rebuilds of the squad already. I know it's only been 4 seasons or whatever it's been. But I think I was trying to think earlier, there's only 2 players that have come up through the divisions with us that are still there now. And if there's going to be someone that can rebuild it, it will be him. But we'll wait and see.
So obviously you said you're going home next season. Yeah? So you're back at the Rico next season then, yeah?
That's right, yeah. So we've been in St Andrews the last 2 seasons. Obviously, we weren't able to go and watch any games previous season. But that was a successful promotion campaign in League One and then staying up in the Championship. There is some question, again, that some might find controversial, that being outside of Coventry may have actually benefited us one way or another. Yeah. We haven't been terribly successful since we've played at the Rico. It may well just be a coincidence, in fact. and everybody is definitely happy that we're going back this season. But it's not to say that actually this has probably been the two best seasons we've had in a very, very long time. Have been of the ones that have been at St Andrews.
I mean, I remember going to Highfield Road, and it was an old ground, but I liked it. It was a good atmosphere. And then obviously when you moved to the Rico, I think it lost a little bit. Is there a sense within Coventry fans that you think the Rico might be a bit cursed?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean the game plan for the owners now is that they are building an entirely new stadium in conjunction with the University of Warwick. And as ludicrous as it is that we have a custom built stadium that is there and is ours and has got our badge on and everything, I think a good population of Cov fans, especially having witnessed 2 ground shares now, are largely at peace with the idea of a smaller, possibly more the stadium that we would want it to be. The Rico is in a big industrial estate next to a big Tesco, the same as all the other rubbish grounds that you go to, like Pride Park and whatever are.
Yeah.
You want to be going to Turf Moor. Or your place is fantastic, obviously. I mean, you're from Yorkshire, which is difficult to reconcile, but it's a good club, and the ground is fantastic to get to. It feels like a proper, as much as that's a horrible term, do you know what I mean? It feels like a real football ground.
Yeah.
Whereas the Rico is awful, abysmal. So I don't think people won't miss it. The other thing with the Rico is it's got no good memories attached to it. There's been nothing good happen there at all.
Yeah, it'd be a bonus to give like a fresh start, a fresh going over. Speaking of fresh starts, you said a lot of players could be heading out the doors. What's the rumours on incomings? Have you had any?
I don't care. I wait till they're signed. Some people seem obsessed with this sort of stuff, but I sort of think I'll wait for an actual news story that says a player is signed, and then we'll go. We haven't signed anybody yet. It could mean anything. It could mean that there's been players that we've tried to sign and that have turned us down. We've seen this before. It's the 21st of June. It's fine.
Where do you think is the main areas in the squad that need strengthening? If you could pick one position.
I mean, you could pick anywhere. You'd be hard pushed to not say keeper at the minute, I would have thought.
Right.
We had a keeper who was exceptional in League One, who for some reason it just didn't work for him last season. And we were playing our sub-keeper, who was really only ever signed to be a sub-keeper and probably performed above the level that we expected him to. Yeah. But he's not the championship class keeper that we would want. And I think there was, especially towards the tail end of the season, there were too many goals that we conceded where they were very, very simple goals, where actually a more capable keeper in the air would have just dealt with it. And so I think that's probably number one area. But we've got an ageing Carl McFadzean that needs replacing. We had one of the players of last season, Leo Ostergaard, on loan from Brighton, who won't come back. A hugely dominant physical centre half, whose presence we will feel we will miss very, very keenly. Could argue that none of the strikers stayed fit enough last season or didn't do enough when they were fit that would dictate that they would be really right up there. Midfielders, right backs, left back, just any of them really. Just check it out. If you've got anyone's number, I'll have it.
So, if you were to pick one player from the crop that you've currently got, I know the transfer window is open, but it's not really in full swing. If you were to pick one as your star man, if you had to go out and put your name on, say we need to keep him fit, who would it be?
I've got to give you two. We had. The first half of last season, we signed a lad from the Netherlands called Gus Hamer, who was just amazing to watch. I haven't seen a player that violent for a long time. When he first came over, he got sent off twice in the first half of the season, and you just don't really see full-on hatchet men like that anymore, but was wonderful as well, like an exceptional player, gifted passer, could carry the ball really well, was ostensibly an attacking midfielder, but was just brutal at the same time, which is just so class. But he really tailed off in the second half of the season.
Right. So
if it would be unequivocally him. He's been linked with Rangers and West Brom and a few other clubs, but again, I don't know if that's just tattle. If it's first half of the season, him, then it's definitely him. If it's second half of the season, it's someone else. And that someone else would be Frankie Dabo, who was a right back that we signed on loan. Signed from Chelsea a couple of years ago, he was injured for a lot of last season. But when he was playing, he was one of the few players that straight away you looked at and when not only have you adapted to the Championship, there's a very strong likelihood that you've got Premier League in you at some point. Just a very, very strong, very, very skillful, brilliant engine, right wing back, really good going forward, really good defensively. And that's where we're at now, I suppose, tactically, isn't it? Is that a right back would have been a right back years ago, but
yeah,
he has huge influence on the way that we play when he's fit. So yeah, one of those two, I would say.
Now to everybody who I've had on so far have either loved this bit or absolutely despised it. If you were to describe Coventry to every other fan in the division using only 3 words, what 3 words would you use?
Oh, Jesus. 3 words. Miserable, glorious, fucked.
Love it. They're the best 3 I've had. They're the best 3 I've had. You need to come on more often with that. Get hell.
I'll do.
It's a nice dry wit of, yeah, we're Coventry, we're shit, but we're going to have a go anyway. I think that's what we were like last season. We had this acceptance of, we're shit, we know we're lucky to get any points this season, but fuck it, we'll have a good time. I know that's not 3 words.
I just don't know what happened with you lot last season. Was it the defender that was injured? Do you think that was a big difference?
Yeah. To me, everything we did came through him. Every attack down left-hand side, all the defending. We had him there. It seemed like Stevens was just shitting himself every time he got the ball. Even Fleck lost without him because he had nobody to link up with. And
Fleck's a really funny player because in the right team for us, he was absolutely unplayable in League One, but you didn't put the right people around him and he just looked lost. He just looked completely and utterly lost. I was really surprised that he stepped up to play in the Prem as well as he did that first season. But actually, you just think some players just need good players, don't they?
Yeah. I think if you look at the way he does play football, he needs strong link-up players. He's never going to be somebody who's going to run it through 6 or 7, is he?
No. And he's a short passer. And you need people moving around you to keep recycling the ball. If you've just got a load of donuts around you, you've got no chance.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we weren't short of last season. That were a load of donuts. So before we let you go, let us know a bit more about the Nii Lamptey show and where we can find you on socials.
We're not really there anywhere. We're not. I think we would describe ourselves as the 6th or 7th biggest Coventry City podcast. We've been going for nearly 10 years, but we're not everyone's cup of tea. So we're on Twitter at Nii Lamptey Show. You can listen to our podcast. But if you're a Sheffield United fan, I don't know why you would.
I was thinking more about the Coventry fans who might be tuned in to watch. But
I think no. So without wanting to sound like a dick, I think if you're a Coventry fan, chances are you've either heard of us and you don't like us, or you don't care, or you're a listener. But that's very kind of yeah. We're around. You can find us.
I can 3,000% utterly relate to that because this is the Marmite channel. This is the Marmite channel of Sheffield United. So it looks like we've found each other through fate, really, doesn't it? We're
not aiming to do anything.
Yeah.
We're not aiming to make a job out of it or anything. So we just it's just a pub chat, but online.
Exactly. I think that's what we need more of on this platform is less fucking YouTubers are out there going, we're going to give you this, this, and this. No, I'm going to chat shit about football, and that's what I'm happy doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Brilliant. Joe, it's been great having you on. Thanks you very much.
Yeah, pleasure.